Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Supatantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Dapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagna Raghunatham Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadudam Parjana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vidam Scha Ye Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopiga Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Bhakta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shabano Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarupecha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Adidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhudale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Nidramine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Punyavadi Pashatya Dosatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivastadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Om Tat Sat, Hare Krishna. Welcome all the devotees for today's Bhagavad Gita class. We are reading from chapter 15, text 11. Hare Krishna, Para Prabhu. Yadando yoginas chainam pasyanthyatmanya vastidam yadando apyakratatmanu nainam pasyantya chetasha. Sachi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yadanto yoginaschainam pasyantyatmanyavasthitam yadanto apyakrutatmano mano nainam pashyadi achetasaha.
Very good. The endeavoring transcendentalists who are situated in self-realization can see all this clearly, but those whose minds are not developed and who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place, though they may try. Yeah, Parak Prabhu, can you please read the translation once again?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Prabhuji. The endeavoring transcendentalists who are situated in the self-realization can see all this clearly, but those whose minds are not developed and who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place through their, though they may try to.
So Lord Krishna is telling those who are self-realized, they will know, or they can very clearly see how the change of body taking place. But those whose minds are not developed, who are not situated in self-realization, cannot see what is taking place, how this transmigration is taking place, how the soul is changing from one body to another. So this can be understood only by a self-realized soul. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tatha dehantara praptir dheras tatra namukhiri. Okay. Dheras tatra namukhiri. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. What change? From infancy to boyhood, boyhood to youthhood, youthhood to old age, from old age to another body. This change is taking place. Okay, a self-realized person, a sober person can understand this. But a materially oriented person who doesn't know anything about the self-realization, what is the body and who is the soul, what's the difference between body and soul, why we are suffering this material world, what is our origin, where we are supposed to go, what is our destination, all these things, the materially oriented people will not be able to understand all these things. Such a person will be totally bewildered by these changes, how it is happening. So only a self-realized person can understand this. So this is what Lord Krishna says. There are many transcendentalists on the path of spiritual self-realization, but one who is not situated in self-realization cannot see how things are changing in the body of the living entity. The word yogina is significant in this connection. In the present day, there are many so-called yogis, and there are many so-called association of yogis, but they're actually blind the matter simply. So in the present days, especially in the age of Kali, when quarrel and hypocrisy are prominent, there are so many so-called yogis who are acting as if they are real yogis. Why? Because they want to get some money, name, fame. They are not actual yogis. They are cheating the innocent public. They may have some mystic power, but that is also material. It is no way connected to spirituality or the spiritual power. Even though they may be able to produce certain things, show some magical feats, but we should not follow such people. Why? Because we are getting misguided by such people. Our aim, the aim of human life is for self-realization, to understand who we are, what is our destination, how we can get out of the material existence. That is the prime purpose of our human existence, without which, whatever we get, how much ever we may get comfort and facilities in this material world, it is of no use. It is temporary. It will go the moment we leave our body. It will not come with us. So there are so many so-called yogis who promises so much of comfort and other material, boons and benedictions and things, so on and so forth. But it is not going to come of any use when we leave the body. When we leave the body, what we have to remember Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Only then, as Krishna promises in Bhagavad Gita, Yam Yam Mapi Smaran Bhavam, Tyaja Dande Kadaivaram, Tam Tam Evaidi Kaundeya, Sada Tadbhava Bhavida. Whatever state of mind we have at the time of quitting the body, that state we will attain in our next life. Andakalecha Mam Eva Smaran Muktva Kalaivaram, Yat Prayatasi Madbhavam, Yati Nasyatra Samhaya. At the time of quitting the body, whoever thinks of me will come to me, will attain me, will come to my abode. There is no doubt for that. Krishna is promising Arjuna. Through Arjuna, we are all getting this promise of Krishna. So our duty is to always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Smartavyam sadhanam Vishnur vismartavyam na jatujit edayor sarve vidhi nishedatyur edayor eva kinkara. So there are two principles that we should never forget. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So these are the two principles, all our Vedic principles are based upon. This is the foundation. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. These two rules are the foundational rules of Krishna consciousness. So our very life is, turning around these two principles. If we don't have these principles, and if we say we know all the slokas, we know all the Vedas, all the philosophy, we are a big zero. No use. So we should be very careful of so-called yogis who are promising us, so many material benefits. We should not fall prey to such yogis. So they are simply addicted to some sort of gymnastics exercise and are satisfied if the body is well built and healthy. People go to so many yoga studios for keeping their body fit. Yes, that's good. We need a fit body. Physical fitness is required so that we can do devotional service, not to exhibit our body to others. That I have a good physical body. I can do anything and everything. I can defeat others. That is not the purpose. We need a healthy body for what? For doing devotional service. They have no other information. They are called Yadanto Pi Akratatmana. Even though they are endeavoring in so-called yoga systems, they are not self-satisfied. They are also undergoing so much of miseries. Although they may have, physical fitness, but their mind is always disturbed. Because why? They are lacking Krishna consciousness. Such people cannot understand the process of the transmigration of the soul. Only those who are actually in the yoga system and have realized the self, the world and the supreme Lord. In other words, the bhakti yogis those engaged in pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness can understand how things are taking place. So only a devotee can understand the things as it is. Others, they may, they may use their word jugglery to cheat the public, innocent public. Or they may use the so-called yoga system, for promising so many material comforts and facilities and things and some, material benediction. But that is not going to help us at that time of quitting our body. Okay, so any questions or any comments? We'll go to the next sloka 12. Yadaditya gadam tejo jagad bhashayate akhilam yachandramasi yachagno tat tejo vidhimamakam. Mayuri Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yat aditya gatam teja jagat bhasayate akhilam yat chandramasi chagnau tat tejo vidhimamakam.
Prince Prabhu, translation please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Translation: the splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of this whole world, comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of the fire are also from me.
Very good. The splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of this whole world, comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of the fire are also from me. So Krishna is telling the splendor of the sun, moon, and electricity, fire, everything comes from me. He is the origin of everything. Sarva Karana Karanam. Okay? Now we know that we are getting light from sun. But to sun, who is giving the light? Who is empowering the sun to give us light? Krishna. So that's why he's claiming here. I am the original seed-giving father. Aham bija pradapida. I am the original seed-giving father. No. If he doesn't empower the sun or moon, then the sun and moon cannot dissipate the darkness, cannot give us light. So Krishna is telling about his splendor, his opulences in this chapter. Yoga of the Supreme Person. What is the caption of this chapter? Yoga of the Supreme Person, right? So the unintelligent cannot understand how things are taking place. But one can begin to be established in knowledge by understanding what the Lord explains here. Everyone sees the sun, moon, fire, and electricity. One should simply try to understand that the splendor of the sun, splendor of the moon, and the splendor of the electricity or fire are coming from the Supreme Personality. So we are getting light, electric light. We have tube light, bulbs, LED light, so many things. We are getting light. Now the energy is coming from where? From where we are getting the energy? Are we making the energy? We are just manipulating these material elements so that we can get the energy, right? We are not creating Bhumi, Apo, Analo, Vayu, Kham. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. We are not creating. So by manipulating all these ingredients, we are making so many things, isn't it? So actually the original supplier of all these things is Krishna. Whatever Krishna is giving, we are manipulating that and using it for our convenience. That's all. We cannot manufacture earth, water, fire, air, ether. Can we? The engineer cannot construct a building without cement, bricks, steel, wood, and such other material. He is expert in constructing the building, but without this material, can he make a building? He cannot. So who is providing this? Everything is provided by nature. And who is controlling the nature? Lord Krishna. Maya adhyakshena prakriti suyade sacharacharam hedu nanena kaunteya jagad viparivartade. Okay. Maya adhyakshena prakriti. Under my supervision, this prakriti, this Maya, this material world is working. So ultimately, who is the cause of all causes? Lord Krishna. So everything is emanating from him. Mataha paradaram na anyat kinchid asti dhananjaya mayi sarvam idam protam sutre mani ganaiva. Mataha paradaram na anyat. There is nothing apart from me, superior than me. Na anyat. Mayi sarvam idam. Everything is, working, or everything is in its own place, just like how pearls are strung in a necklace. The pearls we can see very nicely in the necklace, but can we see the thread underlying in that? No. Just like Lord Krishna is also there. Everything is emanating from them, but we cannot see his presence. So we think that everything is automatically happening. No, it's not. So in such a conception of life, the beginning of Krishna consciousness lies a great deal of advancement for the conditioned soul in this material world. The living entities are essentially parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, and he is giving herewith the hint how they can come back to God and back to home. So which is the slogan in Bhagavad Gita, that we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord? Which slogan? We are all part and parcel of Supreme Lord. Which sloka? What is this? Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Bible students. Mamai Vamso Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha. Okay. That is the sloka. Mamai Vamso Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha. Essentially the part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. From this verse, we can understand that the sun is illuminating the whole solar system. There are different universes and solar systems. It's not just one universe and one solar system. Billions and billions of universes are there. Not one or two, billions and billions of, and this material world is just one fragmental portion of the total creation. Ekapada Vibhuti, 1/4 of the total material, total creation is this material world. 3/4 is the spiritual world. So in that 1/4 of the total creation, there are billions and billions of universes. And there are billions and billions of suns and moons and planets and so on and so forth. But in each universe, there is only one sun. Okay, so our Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that there is only one sun in each universe. That is enough. Not many suns, many stars are there. All the stars are not self-luminous as per Bhagavatam. We understand as per science, stars are self-luminous, right? That is what we learn. But as per Srimad Bhagavatam, stars are, these stars, all, just like moon, it is not self-luminous. It is said that among all the stars, Shashi means moon, right? The chief. So all the stars are, among the moon. It is also considered as, the star. Moon is also considered as star. Among the stars, moon is the chief. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, what is the slogan? Yes, Karat Prabhu.
Mayuri Mata.
Yes.
Nakshapranam aham shashi.
Nakshatranam aham shashi. Of all the nakshatras, I am Shashi, moon. So, moon is what? Nakshatra. So, we understand from this that the nakshatra is not self-luminous. Nakshatranam aham shashi. Okay. So, the moon is one of the stars. Here it is again, Bhagavad Gita 10.21. Okay. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 10.21, the moon is one of the stars. Nakshatra, it's here only. Nakshatranam aham shashi. Okay, sunlight is due to the spiritual effulgence in the spiritual sky of the Supreme Lord. With the rise of the sun, the activities of human beings are set up. Just imagine the sun is not rising for a few days. What will happen? How long will you be able to survive? Nothing will work. There will be rain? No. There will be rain? No. There will be air? No. Nothing will be there. They will finish. The sun is much. Now, if the sun doesn't evaporate the body water, how there will be cloud, how there will be rain, and if there is no rain, how there will be rain, how there will be vegetation, how they will survive. So sunlight is due to the spiritual effulgence of the spiritual sky of the Supreme Lord. So the sunlight is giving us the sun is giving us the sunlight because it is getting the light from the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord's body's effulgence is what sun is giving to us. So ultimately, Supreme Lord is the cause for the sunlight. Now sun who is giving us sunlight, but sun is getting light from the Supreme Lord. With the rise of the sun, the activities of the human beings are set up. They set fire to prepare their foodstuff, they set fire to start the factories, etc. So many things are done there for fire. Therefore, sunrise, fire, and moonlight are so pleasing to the living entities. What is the speciality of moonrise? Moonbeams, moonlight, what it gives us?
Actually, in the night, for the vegetables, Prabhu, for the plants.
So because there is moonlight, the vegetable is giving, the vegetarian, the agriculture is giving us food, juice, all these things, the nourishment, everything we are getting for the fruits. It is because of the moonlight. The juice in the fruits is coming because of the moonlight. Vegetable grows because of moonlight also. So moonlight is also required. So they are all dependent on so many factors. We think that we are independent. I can do anything and everything. I don't require anybody to sustain myself. But
Hare
we are
Krishna,
all,
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, your voice is not clear.
Very good. So now
It's a break. It's not clear, Prabhuji.
1 second. Hare Krishna. So okay now?
Now okay, Prabhuji.
So therefore, sunrise, fire, and moonlight are so pleasing to the living entities. Without their help, no living entity can live. So if one can understand that the light and the splendor of the sun, moon, and fire are emanating from the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, then once Krishna consciousness will begin. There are so many people who are atheist. They have the atheistic mentality that there is no God. Okay, everything is automatically happening. How can things happen automatically? If everything is automatically happening, I want a big building here. It will come, it will get manifested. No. So behind any creation, there's a creator. So, and this nature, material nature, and the sun, moon, stars, so many other planets are working without any coalition, just automatically. No. There's a creator, there's an engineer behind everything. But this atheist think that everything is happening because of some big bang theory and all. It's all bogus. Straight up, our Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and all the other literatures very clearly states that these are all arrangement of the Supreme Lord. Without their help, no living entity can live. So if one can understand that the light and the splendor of the sun, moon, and fire are emanating from Supreme Personality of God Krishna, then once Krishna consciousness will begin. By the moonshine, all the vegetables are nourished. The moonshine is so pleasing that people can easily understand that they are living by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Without his mercy, there cannot be sun. Without his mercy, there cannot be moon. And without his mercy, there cannot be fire. And without the help of sun, moon, or fire, no one can live. These are some thoughts to provoke Krishna consciousness in the conditions. So this is Prabhupada has given very nice purport for this particular sloka. So any comments or any questions? Okay. Shall we move on to the next 13? Gama vishyaja bhutani dharayamyaham ushnami chaushadi sarva somo bhutva rasatmaka. Ramya Mataji.
गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयाम्य हमोजसा पुष्णामि चौषधानि सर्वा सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः.
Saraswati Mataji, translation please. Saraswati Mataji is there. Okay, no problem. Prabhu, you can read. Now, I think it's not audible. Okay. Then Ramya Mataji,
Hare
you can.
Krishna. Hare
Okay.
Krishna, Prabhupada. I enter into each planet, and by my energy, they stay in the orbit. I become the moon, and thereby supply the juice of life to all the vegetables.
Very good. So Lord Krishna says, I enter to each planet. I enter into each planet. Gam avishyacha bhutani. Gam, the planets. Avishya, entering. Bhutani, the living entities. Dharayami, sustain. Ojasa, by my energy. Ushnami, nourishing. Aushadi, vegetables. Okay. Sarva, all. Soma, the moon. And Bhutva, becoming. Rasa Atmaka, supplying the juice. So I enter into each planet, and by my energy, they stay in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. So Lord Krishna, directly or indirectly, is present in each and everything. He is present as Paramatma in each and every atom of this creation. Although he is aloof from everything, he is present in everything. So in the moon also is there. It is because of him, all the vegetables are getting nourishment. And all the planets are staying in its orbit. There are so many planets in one universe itself. So it's all orbiting in its own orbit without collision. How is it possible? When we are flying aeroplanes, so many aeroplanes, sometimes there will be collision, there will be accident. But have we ever heard that moon and sun, or Earth or Pluto or Neptune or any other Saturn got accident in the past or now? Future we don't know. So far we have not heard of any such collision, right? So there is somebody who is controlling this. So I don't know why people cannot understand this simple logic. So I become the moon and thereby supply juice of life to all vegetables. It is understood that all the planets are floating in the air only by the energy of the Lord. Who is actually doing this? Lord Balram. Okay. Lord Balram, in his thousands and thousands of foods, planets are there. He is carrying this. The Lord enters into every atom, every planet, every living being. That is discussed in the Brahma Samhita. What is the slogan?
Andantara Parama. Kitale bro. Jayate Dashram. And in between only, bro, not the for starting. Andam is universe, right? Paramanu something.
Mayuri Mataji. Forward.
Yeah, for Andantarastha Paramanu. Yeah.
Andantarastha Paramanu.
Starting we are not getting, Prabhu.
Andantarastha Paramanu. Yeah, I also forgot that.
Yeah, yeah, Antarastham.
Jayandarastham, something like that.
Yes.
Okay, we'll recollect that. So that's also discussed in the Brahma Samhita. It is said that that one plenary portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paramatma, enters into the planets, the universe, the living entity, and even into the atom. So can you tell me which are those portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that enters universe and that enters into each and every atom?
Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu enters every universe, Prabhu, and then every atom is Paramatma, Shirodaka Sai Vishnu.
Very good. Nice. So due to his entrance, everything is appropriately manifested. Only when the Lord enters, there will be life. Otherwise, it is Jada only. This material universe is Jada, gross. It has no consciousness. Only when Lord enters, it has life. Just like when there is soul inside this body, there is life. When the soul leaves, it is just gross, Jada. Okay. So due to his entrance, everything is appropriately manifested. When the spirit soul is there, a living man can float on the water. No, you must have observed. Dead body, what happens? It sinks. A living body can float in the water, on the water. And if there is no soul, automatically it sinks. So that's what Prabhupada says here. When the living spark is out of the body and the body is dead, the body sinks. Of course, when it is decomposed, it floats just like straw and other things. Again, it will float when it is decomposed. But as soon as the man is dead, he at once sinks in the water. Similarly, all these planets are floating in space, and this is due to the entrance of the supreme energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His energy is sustaining each planet just like a handful of dust. If someone holds a handful of dust, there is no possibility of the dust falling. But if one throws it in an air, it will fall down. If you hold it in our hand, it will not fall. If you just throw it, it will fall down. Similarly, these planets which are floating in the air are actually held in the fist of the universal form of the Supreme Lord. By his strength and energy, all moving and non-moving things stay in their place. It is said in the Vedic hymns that because of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sun is shining and the planets are steadily moving. Were it not for him, all the planets would scatter like dust in air and perish. Similarly, it is due to the Supreme Personality of Godhead that the moon nourishes all vegetables. Due to the moon's influence, the vegetables become delicious. Without the moonshine, the vegetables can neither grow nor taste succulent. Human society is working, living comfortably, and enjoying food due to the supply from the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, mankind could not survive. The word rasatmaka is very significant. Everything becomes palatable by the agency of the Supreme Lord through the influence of the moon. So without the Lord empowering the sun, moon, and other planets and other agents, we won't be able to live in this material world comfortably. If he withdraws the power, then we cannot sustain this material. So everything is at the end of the day, the Supreme Lord is supplying to us. He is the chief engineer of this universe. He is orchestrating everything to happen at its right time, whenever it is required to give, and whenever it is required to take back us. So he's orchestrating everything. Hare Krishna. So any questions? Any questions or any comments? Can we take one more sloka? Number 14. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashrita Pranapana Samanyukta Pachamyannam Chadurvidham. Yes, Mayuri Mataji, Parag Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashritah Pranapan Samayukta Panchamanyam Chaturvidham.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji translation. I am the fire of the digestion in the bodies of all living entities, and I join with the air of life, outgoing and incoming, to digest the 4 kinds of foodstuffs.
I am the fire of digestion in the bodies of all living entities, and I join with the air of life, outgoing and incoming, to digest the 4 kinds of foodstuff. So, who is digesting that we eat? Who is helping us? Who is supplying us the fire of digestion? Lord Sri Krishna. Okay. He joined in the air of life, outgoing and incoming, and digest the 4 kinds of foodstuff. So there are 4 types of foodstuff. It is given here. Here it is given. Yes, here. There are 4 kinds of foodstuffs. Some are drunk, some are chewed, some are licked up, and some are sucked. And is the digestive force for all of them. So these are the 4 types of foodstuff that we consume every day, and this is digested because the Lord Krishna is giving the digestive power to our body. And Lord Krishna is empowering different demigods to take care of this different bodily functions. For each function, there is a particular demigod who is responsible. So he is empowered. So according to Ayurvedic Shastra, we understand that there is a fire in the stomach which digests all food center. What is that fire called in the stomach?
Jatragni Prabhuji.
Jadragni. That is what is helping us to digest whatever we eat. When the fire is not blazing, there is no hunger. And when the fire is in order, we become hungry. Sometimes when the fire is not going nicely, treatment is required. In any case, the fire is representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vedic mantras, Brahad Aranyaka Upanishad, also confirm that the Supreme Lord or Brahman is situated in the form of fire within the stomach and is digesting all kinds of foodstuff. I am Agnir Vaishwanaro, Yoyam Anta Purushe Enedam Annam Pachyade. Therefore, since he is helping the digestion of all kinds of foodstuff, the living entity is not independent in eating person. So even when we eat food, the rest of the work is done by the Supreme Lord, directly or indirectly, directly by himself or indirectly through his agents. We just eat, we just gulp, we just swallow. And who has to work? Supreme Lord has to work, isn't it? So unless the Supreme Lord helps him in digesting, there is no possibility of eating. Just imagine we are eating and it is not getting digested. What will happen? We don't know anything. We just eat. We keep eating. We don't know how this is getting digested, how this is getting evacuated, the waste. All these things we don't know. We take everything as granted. He thus produces the digest foodstuff, and by his grace, we are enjoying life. And people say that there is no God. To such people, what we should do, we should close all the gates of the body. Then they will know whether there is God or not. So in the Vedanta Sutra, this is also confirmed. Shabdadibhyo anta pradisthanacha. The Lord is situated within sound and within the body, within the air, and even within the stomach as the digestive force. There are 4 kinds of foodstuff. Some are drunk, some are chewed, some are licked up, and some are sucked. And He is the digestive force for all of them. So all that 4 types of foods that we intake, everything is digested by the help of the Supreme Lord. Without His help, we cannot sustain in this material. How much ever technology or scientific advancement takes place, we won't be able to sustain without the help of the Supreme Lord. We need sunlight, we need moonlight, we need grains and rain and so many other things for our sustenance. Scientists cannot manufacture anything of this sort. Can scientists manufacture a few drops of water? No. Can the scientists manufacture one blade of grass or one mosquito? With so much of advancement, technological advancement, they claim they've made artificial intelligence and robot this and that. Yes, good, very nice. But how it is helping us? It's not helping us. It's only disturbing the human society. All these things, artificial. Maybe certain percentage, maybe 5-10%, it may be helpful for a comfortable living. But apart from that, 90% of the so-called technological advancement, scientific advancement is used, in a negative way, not favorable way. So unless and until one accepts the supremacy of the Supreme Lord, accept that Supreme Lord is orchestrating everything, is supplying us everything, we won't be happily living in this material world. We have to accept the fact that Supreme Lord is the cause of all causes. We have to respect and worship and follow Him as per His instructions. Then only our life will be successful. Otherwise, we will have to undergo lots of miseries if we go against the laws of nature. So this chapter is explaining about the Supreme Person's Aishwarya, opulence. So we close here. Next is second. No, next.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Mark here. Hare Krishna.